Hello, my dear students. Very good morning to all of you. I am here, Lalit Kumar P. Bhaiya, Associate Professor, Electronics and Telecommunication Department, BCET Durg. And in front of me, you are all of students of third year, BTech third year Agriculture Engineering. As we have already gone through the previous video about the analog electronics and instrumentation. This is the subject which you will have to study. EBE 5314 is the code. And we have gone through the syllabus of IGKV of this subject. And we have seen theory parts. What are the contents in the AEI that we have seen? Particularly, this is divided into 4 parts. One is the semiconductor theory, which consists semiconductors, PN junction diode, and diode circuits like clipper, clamper, voltage amplifier, and filters. Then we will go for the rectifiers and transistors, the circuits using the transistors like common emitter amplifier and oscillators. And then we will go for the integrated circuits like op-amp, operational amplifier, and then various circuits of the operational amplifier and the regulators. Then we will go for the digital electronics, Boolean algebra, combinational circuits, etc. SOP, etc. D2A converter and A to D converters. And later on, the next part is the instrumentation. Measurement of the some quantities like displacement, temperature, velocity, force, pressure, etc. using some instruments and LVDT also. And we will go for the practicals. Practical also consisting the practicals on the diode, practicals on the transistor, practicals on the operational amplifier, practicals on the various instruments. These practicals later on we will also see. Before going to this AEI, you must learn basic things for the semiconductors. And that basic, this is called as basic electronics, you can say. So I will going to introduce these basic things like what is electricity, what is voltage, current, resistance, Ohm's law, capacitors, inductors, and later on semiconductors. I think you have already studied this one basically in 11th and 12th, but you may forgot it. So you must know these basic things while going to study these semiconductors, electronics. So first of all, we will see what is electricity. You know very well, everything is made of atoms. And there are about 118 elements. An atom is a single part of an element, you know it, which consists the electrons, protons, and neutrons. You can see this diagram. The structure of the atom is shown here. Electrons, protons, and neutrons. Electrons are the negatively charged and attracted to the protons, which are positively charged. And due to this both, atoms hold together. Some materials have strong attraction and refuse to lose the electrons. These are called insulators. Like air, glass, rubber, most of the plastic, these are called as the insulators because there has some strong attraction between the electrons and the nucleus. So there is no chance to lose the electrons. So no conductivity of the electricity. These are insulators. Some materials have the weak attraction between the electrons and the nucleus and allow the electrons to be lost. These are called conductors, like copper, silver, gold, aluminium, etc. are the conductors. And electrons can be made to move from one atom to another. This is called a current, and this current is known as electricity. You can see this diagram is shown here. Atom, electrons are shown here, and this produces the current. Movement of the electron produces the current, which is called as the electricity. Voltage. What is voltage? A battery has a positive terminal and a negative terminal. The difference in charge between each terminal is the potential energy the battery can provide. This is labeled in units of volts. So volts is the differential potential between the two terminals, positive and negative terminal. Voltage is like a differential pressure, always measured between the 2 points. When measuring DC voltage, make sure polarity of meter is correct, positive as a red polarity and negative as a black polarity. While going to study this electronics engineering, AEI, you must know this voltage, and voltage is nothing but the difference between the differential, like a pressure, you can say differential potential. And in DC means direct current and AC means alternating current. In our house, the supply comes as alternating current, while we use the laptops, mobile, etc. uses the DC, direct current. So for direct current voltages, we must use positive as well as the negative terminal properly. You can see here, these are the symbols of the cell, battery and power supply. Here you can see unipolar cell is shown here. Battery positive is a long and this is negative, and here this is positive and negative. Battery plus 5 shown here, and this is 5. This is also a battery, power supply you can say. And this bipolar AC, this is bipolar, this is unipolar, and AC signal is the bipolar. Properties: constant voltage, independent of the amount of current, usually ideal. Examples: batteries, power supplies and signal generators. Bipolar are the signal generators, while batteries and power supplies are the unipolar. This is ground, provided a reference point. You can see here this diagram. This is the reservoir and this flows here in a pump. So reservoir shows, and here this is the ground. This is the comparison. And purely a reference point does not participate in current flow. Here no current flows in this ground. Current will flow in this equipment. Similarly, this flows is shown here in a pump and reservoir. There is no flow up in the reservoir. An integral path in the current flow is shown here. You can see this diagram. Here is a flow and here is a current flow. And this is a symbol of ground which we use in electricity. This shows the earth and this is analog ground. So these are the basic things which we will learn many times in this subject. Here current is shown like a flow of water. There is a flow of charge in the conductor. So uniform flow of electrons through a circuit is called current. Uniform flow of electrons through a circuit is called current. So here you can see this diagram I am showing here. Electrons flow notation. like this, and this is the current flow. Electric charge moves from the negative supply side of the battery to the positive supply side. And this is the conventional flow of notation, which is shown here from positive to negative. So movement of the electrons and movement flow of the current, that is also important. Current is always opposite with respect to the electrons, movement of the electrons. This is the multimeter as shown here. How to measure the current? Simply, you can see this multimeter. This indicates the voltage. This is the AC voltage. This is the DC voltage. This is the AC current and DC. This is the transistor parameter HFE. This is the temperature and testing of diode. This can be with the help of the multimeter. So you can connect the cord and measure the current or voltage of the 2 points. To measure a current, must break the circuit and install meter in line. Always the current meter should be in between the 2 points of the line. And measurement is imperfect because of voltage drop created by meter. Sometimes there may be a voltage drop due to the meter, so current may be imperfect sometimes. Resistance, you know, this constriction creates the resistance of flow, water flow. Similarly, resistor creates a resistance to current flow. This resistance always opposes the flow of current, and this is the diagram of the resistance on which color bands are shown here. And with the help of color band, we can calculate the value of resistance. Resistance are important component in the electronic circuit. All materials have a resistance that is dependent on cross-sectional area, material type and temperature. A resistor dissipates power in the form of heat. Always resistor dissipates the power because it is passive component, and hence power dissipation across resistance is always there. How to measure the resistance using the multimeter? Digital multimeter, you can measure the resistance by connecting to the proper terminals of the resistor to the multimeter, and make sure the multimeter is in the mode of resistance. So you will get the value of the resistance which is in ohms or kilo ohms or mega ohms, like this. So high resistance in terms of mega ohm and low resistance in terms of ohms. So when measuring resistance, remove the component from the circuit. After removing all the component, you can measure the resistance. Otherwise, there will be some effect on the value of the resistance. This is Ohm's law. You can write in 4 ways. Basically, it is V is equal to IR or E is equal to IR. E or V is the voltage. Or R is equal to E by I. Or I is equal to E by R. Or E is equal to I into R. This is the Ohm's law, which is very standard and basic in all electrical engineering as well as in electronics engineering. V is equal to IR or E is equal to IR. You can calculate voltage, current, resistance, etc. Circuit components. These are passive and active components. Passive components are those which requires power and absorbs the power also. Active components are those which produces the power but does not absorb the power. There is no loss. And in passive component, losses are there. Resistors, capacitor, inductors are the passive components, while active components are voltage sources, current sources, and amplifiers. Transistor, like these are the active component. Insulators, metals and semiconductors. As I have already told you, what is insulator? Insulator does not have a capacity to produce the current, or there is no flow of current in the insulator because energy gap between the conduction band and insulation band is very high. Semiconductor valence band energy gap between conduction band and valence band is large, greater than 5 electron volt, while in case of the semiconductors, the energy gap between the conduction band and valence band is less, about 1.1 electron volt in case of the silicon and 0.67 electron volt in case of the germanium, while 1.41 electron volt in case of the gallium arsenide. These are the semiconductors used generally: silicon, germanium and gallium arsenide. And this is the energy gap between the conduction band and the valence band. And in case of the conductor, these bands are overlapped to each other, conduction band and valence band. So energy gap is almost zero in case of the conductor. So this is the diagram showing the differentiation between insulator, conductors and semiconductors. That also we will see later on in PN junction. Properties. Insulators have larger values of this energy gap, so that it takes more energy to excite energy into the conduction band, excites the electrons into the conduction band. Semiconductors are partially conducting under typical conduction conditions, since the energy required to lift electrons is not so much larger than thermal energies at room temperature. Their conductivity is a strong function of temperature. Freeze out at low temperature, conduction at high temperature, and metals has the higher conductivity than insulator, and semiconductors as the conduction band and valence band are overlapped metals. So the best example of the conductor is a copper. Then this is the very basic thing. The expected questions on this particular today's matter is define the conductors, metals and insulator. Define the semiconductors, conductors and insulator as per the diagram we have seen, and explain with the help of energy band diagrams. So these are the very basic things which we have seen. Thank you all for this listening, and if you have any difficulties, please feel free to ask me at any time on any platform. Our classroom platform is Google Classroom. You can ask me on Google Classroom also, and this is my mobile number on which you can also communicate your difficulties, and let us try to solve the difficulties. Kindly collect the question papers of last 2-3 years, that we will go one by one, step by step. Next time we will learn about the PN junction and syllabus. Thank you very much. Thank you.